Welcome back to Man Across New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, as you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today in today was meant to be a pre-recorded episode because it's one of my friend's birthdays and, we were going to go out to celebrate, but then that's now been pushed instead to Sunday, so, I already actually pre-recorded an episode for today, so if on Sunday you watch a Happy in Paradise episode and you'll be like, whoa, Dear Darling's talking as if it's Friday today, that's why. So, just a pre-warning. Actually, it'll be funny. Let's pretend today's Sunday. Yeah, let's just completely change it up. Every day's got to get its representation, even though not every day has got its representation, but still, that sort of generic vibe is there. But hello everyone, right now in Fawnhallow, 6:07pm on Friday, November 11th, 2022, or is it? Right now in Fawnhallow, 6:07pm on Sunday, 13th of November 2022. I don't know, there's no point in that, I'm going to be honest. There's no point in that bit, it just happened. What should we talk about today? We're still continuing on the arc of a weekend trip. You know what we can talk about? Why don't we talk about pet snakes? I mean, you can probably tell from the title, and if you're that friend who has that pet snakes, you're probably watching this video as well. Or not, I don't know. They certainly like to click on videos which are like, I know about this. I'm watching you. Okay, I'm not actually watching you. I don't know what all this meta jokes, of course 99% of the audience is not going to understand what I'm talking about, but yes, I went to, as I said, over the weekend, happy birthday to me on November 19th, over the weekend I went to a friend's with a bunch of other people. We do these meetups every half a year or something, and these friends, I don't know myself, it's so weirdly, these friends have pets because, and as I say, one of them is very good with animals and knows a lot about animals and the way they behave and all that sort of thing. And they're very knowledgeable on that fact, and it's very impressive, is what I'd say. They have pets. They have a pet dog and a pet gecko and two pet snakes. You forgive me because I don't remember the exact breeds or whatever. I think hognose snakes. I don't remember what the gecko is, I'm going to be perfectly honest. But they are super, super cute. And it was my first time actually meeting them in person. And you might be like, hey, you must be quite an animal person, aren't you, dear darling? Your whole motif is based around a deer in the first place. It's actually a very strange thing, which, they actually brought up to me before, was the fact that, people have a strong association with me of animals, despite the fact I don't really own any pets. nor do I think I'm that amazing a pet owner. I'm distinctly average is probably what I'd say. You might be like, have you had pets before? Yes. When I was very, very young, I had a pet goldfish. There was a family goldfish. It was a very old goldfish when we got her. She was already 8 years old or something, so she died 2 years later or something. I don't remember. Anyway, rest in peace to her. And then when I was much younger, my sister had 2 rabbits, which we both thought initially they were both boys, but turns out one was a girl, and then they had many, many more mini rabbits who we had to give out to a load of people. So a lot of people in my friend circle, or our family's friend circles, ended up getting pet rabbits. So I'll say, but they're really good. I can't say I particularly looked after them. They weren't really my rabbits. I sort of just played with them sometimes, or I certainly watched them, while they're out in the rabbit runs. And I fed them sometimes, but they weren't really my pets. When I was younger, again, when I was a bit older than that, I suppose, I had a pet hamster, who lived a good life for 2 years. I would, as I say, I don't think I didn't really go out my way to be like, wow, I gave him the absolute lapse of luxury, because, to be honest, not that, I didn't care for him. I cared for him a lot. It's just I wasn't very good at, knowing how to look after pets, and neither my parents, because my parents didn't really have pets. So the pets they had were, farmyard pets, like chickens and that sort of thing. Hamster wasn't very common, and it's even more amusing because that hamster thing, the hamster was, because I wanted a pet for such a long time. There was where I lived back then, there was a pet store which I used to go to sometimes after school just to look up the pets and that sort of thing. Then one random day when my sister was on holiday, I think somewhere, on a school trip, and then I don't know where my father was, I think also on holiday or something, I convinced my mum to buy me a pet hamster. Just completely spur the moment. I remember my mum talking about it, being like, I can't believe we just randomly bought a hamster just this one evening. And anyway, he was a fantastic hamster, and I very much enjoyed looking after him. Although I would say certainly back at that time I was not very, and I didn't like dealing with excrement, shall I say, from animals, when animals kind of do that a lot. So again, that's sort of my cleanliness tendencies sort of kicking in, being like, I don't want to have to deal with that, which is maybe one of the biggest reasons I don't have a pet right now, is I don't really want to deal with that. I'm like, a pet doesn't deserve someone who doesn't want to look after them through like thick and thin. It's not like, hold on, like, that makes it sound like I'm going to neglect them. I wouldn't neglect them. I would just like suck it up and do it anyway. Of course, if I had a pet, like if you suddenly were like, here, you had to look after this dog, obviously I would, you know, suck it up and just be like, you know, I'm an adult. I can, you know, deal with a bit of dog poop every now and then. But it's also just like, you know, okay, it's not just that, it's also like the cost of pets and that sort of thing, you know, like I'm busy as well. It's hard to keep everything in balance, so, you know, it's just sort of like not the right time in my life, I think, for a pet. Or if I were to get a pet, it would have to be a low maintenance pet, I would think, and I don't think most dogs are very low maintenance. Like even cats aren't that low maintenance, are they? Anyway, I'm getting really distracted here. Had a hamster, it was cool. Yeah, you know, I just sort of got used to it. I still looked after that pet, don't get me wrong. You know, I changed out a little box thing he had. You know, changed like with stuffing and that sort of thing. I don't know what else you're really meant to do with hamsters. You know, took him out, like let him run around like on a hamster wheel and like crawl about and things. He bit me a couple of times. That was about it. You know, he was a cool pet. And yeah, and then when I was older than that, I had 2 turtles, which I will be honest, I didn't even know how to look after turtles. They didn't live for too long, I will say. And, you know, it was a bit sad, but also at the time, I don't think like anyone in our family particularly knew how to look after turtles. I don't think they died from my neglect. I like to think, but because we didn't neglect them or anything, we did our best. But you know, I don't know. Did I just like, I don't even know what species of turtles they were, but they were like a gift from my grandparents. It was because, you know, I really like turtles and whatever. My grandpa just like gave me a turtle, and I was like, whoa, okay. Actually, apparently he wanted to give like 6, but then like 4 of them died before he gave them to me. So, you know, I ended up with 2. So I don't know. Maybe those pets are like turtles already ill. And I'm talking as if like they didn't last. Like they still lasted like quite a few years. I think like maybe like 5 years or something. Maybe that's a bit too much. I don't remember. But certainly from primary school to a bit through secondary school, I seem to recall. Anyway, and since then I haven't had a pet. And you might be like, oh, what would you want a pet? What pet would you want? I don't know. No, I think I certainly would like a pet, but you know, it's again, as I say, it's a balance. You know, pets cost money, pets cost time, and you know, I wouldn't want a pet I couldn't look after properly and that sort of thing. I mean, and nowadays information is certainly not hard to come by. You know, got the internet. You know, got friends who have pets, and I'm far more knowledgeable about pets than I am. So that's not certainly that's not something which I'm worried about and me lacking. It's just, yeah, it's just time and money, to be honest. But I don't know, what pet would I get? I don't know if I have the energy to keep up with a dog. I'd have to choose the breed carefully, and then, you know, obviously put effort in. Like, I don't know, maybe I get like a house cat or something, or maybe not even a house cat. Like, let the cat roam free. Or, I don't know what the most low maintenance pet is. Nor do I think that's really something I should be aiming after. I mean, I talked about tarantulas before, and I was like, I thought tarantulas are pretty cool, but, you know, I'm not really sure I should get one. But snakes are pretty cool. Oh, yeah, that's what leading on to. My friend, they have pets, and they have a dog who is probably the most energetic dog I ever met. You know, there were a lot of, like, new people there, so, you know, he was incredibly energetic and, like, excited to meet everyone, which is probably why, you know, just constantly playing with him, constantly, like, holding up his, like, I don't know, it's not a chew toy, but like a rope toy or something, and just playing like tug of war back and forth. But it's very fun, very enjoyable. And the gecko was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Mostly stayed in his enclosure most of the time, but you know, he's got some mad hops in him. You know, he can jump really far. Is basically what I mean by that. You know, jump like a whole like foot or something. It was pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. And then they had 2 snakes, which, you know, to be honest, some of my other friends were like really into the snakes. I'm not gonna lie, they were absolutely vibing with the snakes. Like, I thought the snakes were cool and all that, like, don't get me wrong, but they were absolutely vibing with the snakes. Like, I remember I can't remember why I was delayed going to the house, but I was like, what did I do? I had to do something, but I don't remember what. What did I have to do? Why was I one of the last ones in the house? Oh, that's why. Okay, then I can't remember. But basically, I was like the last one in the house, and then I remember I entered, and like the 3 friends I came with, they were all just like vibing on the sofa, just like letting the snakes like crawl around in my hands, just watching it with like utter fascination. And these friends, they're very high energy sort of friends, I would say. You know, they're very energetic, and you know, especially compared to me, who was quite, you know, sort of muted energy and that sort of thing. And it's just bizarre to see them so like entranced by a snake, you know. I suppose instead of being like a snake charmer, it was a charming snake. But I don't blame them. The snakes were utterly adorable. They were so like, you know, not only were they cute, but they were pretty, like, peaceful, just sort of like very happily crawling over your fingers. It's a very strange well, it's not that strange a sensation. I suppose it's a bit of a comforting sensation, having a snake sort of crawl about you. It's an interesting feeling, having that sort of like fleshy moving object. I don't know how to describe it, like sort of crawling around your hand. It's like probably the worst way possible to describe a snake, and they're very fascinating to watch, I would say. And yeah, I don't know, my friends were just absolutely vibing with them, which is craziest. It's not the craziest thing. I say that as if my friends aren't like accustomed to pets or anything. They've had pets and they liked it, but it just sort of surprised me how into snakes they were. And they were just like, one of them was like, I kind of want to get a snake now, and I'm like, absolutely fair enough, go for it. That's what I say. I just didn't expect it as perhaps what I mean to say. It just wasn't. If you were just like, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think I would love the snake? I'd be like, I think I'd be like a solid 7 or something, and it turns out they were like a full 10. That just happens. But yeah, I quite liked him as well. I think the snakes are just like fascinating to sort of watch. I can certainly imagine if I were to get a pet, I would like a pet which I don't know, because every time I say this, I'm just like, I would like a pet which does X, Y, Z. And I think about it, I'm like, no, I can go with any. I could be down with any sort of pet. But pet snakes especially sound very interesting, having like an enclosure, because they had like a dig box or something, which was pretty fun to sort of watch them sort of like rifle around, dig around and sort of things here and there. Yeah, forgot what I was going to say. Even when they were just vibing, like watching the gecko just sort of vibe on the wall was pretty interesting as well. I don't know, I guess the long and short of what I'm saying is animals are very interesting, which is, fair enough. I feel like most people could probably be like, yeah, I feel like most people do find animals kind of, interesting to watch about, to spectate in the first place. So, no surprises there. But it's just like, huh, I don't know. I suppose if anything, it's opened up the doors to what I'd be more open to having as a pet eventually, Because, as I said, I did talk about pet tarantulas before. Would I actually get a pet tarantula? Yeah, certainly, I think what I'd have to see is that I have to see one in real life first. And it's not because I'm like scared of tarantulas. I'm not actually scared of spiders, which is, bizarre. Not bizarre, like something in my brain did not, like some evolutionary part of my brain did not develop the thing where it's like, ooh, you should probably be scared of things which could potentially kill you. Which you might be like, that's pretty cool, isn't it? If anything, I don't think it's that cool. it's more of a, like, if anything, it's sort of my minor concerns. Is I'm like, what if I'm in a dangerous situation? I'm just like, look at this little like spider thing, and it's like a black widow, and it bites me. Okay, well, I could probably recognize a black widow, but etc., etc. Luckily, I live in the UK where there are basically no venom. I think 0 venomous spiders. There are spiders which I think can bite you, but they are not very common. They're not your common garden spiders, or maybe your common garden spiders can. I don't know. I'm not really an expert in that sort of thing. But yeah, it's broadened the horizons, of what pets I'd be like. Yeah, this would be a cool pet to have. Snakes, very cool. Actually, gecko, pretty cool as well, I'd say. And I like a pet which can vibe. I don't even know what that means. I like a pet which can vibe. It vibes, I can vibe with it. That's, the sort of energy I like to bring. So, having a pet which sort of matches that as well. I think it's just sort of, not a match made in heaven, per se. So I just looked to the side, I just noticed how many pieces of paper on the ground, like, blocking the way to my doorway. My room's not normally this messy. It's just, if it's your birthday today, stop watching this video. I was making a birthday present for that friend, and as I mentioned before, we're in a little bit of a friend circle who we make presents for each other. And this one involves a lot of pieces of paper, and I guess I'll talk about it on probably Monday, I suppose, when I actually give it to him. It's gonna give it to you, what? Gonna give it to you. I also did a really cute deer drawing for this present. So it's, in fact, so cute. I'm actually looking at it and being like, I don't want to set that as my phone background now, I've kept this one, which I don't even know where the one I've got right now is from, but it's from some very good artist or something. Actually, you know what? I can make it as my phone case background. No, phone case. Yeah, phone case. Because I have a Ringeki case, so I can print stuff out, cut it out, and put it in the thing anyway. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. Actually, that's a good idea. I should probably do that. Maybe I should go try and find a template of a Pixel 4a to see exactly. Actually, I don't need to do that because it's a thing I recently learned also from doing this, is that Clip Studio Paint has a print preview size button where it scales things up to exactly the size it will be if you printed it right now, which I'm like, cool. That's very useful. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what pet am I most inclined to get right now? Okay, let's say money and time are no longer an issue. What pet would I most likely to get? I don't know. Like, part of me is sort of like, I feel like I want an unusual pet, you know. But, you know, unusual, but still, like, should be a pet. And, like, I'm not going to go out and be like, oh, you know, what's that? Like, there's some, like, really popular animal which people sometimes has as pets, but really should not be. But it's like wolves or something, right? It's like, you really shouldn't, you know, have a wolf as a pet. Like, some people can, I suppose, but they're not really having a wolf as a pet so much as they're, like, animal trainers or something. And certainly I'm definitely not qualified enough for anything particularly complicated, but, you know, but part of me is like, I kind of want a bit of an unusual pet. Maybe that's just like a little bit inside me is just like, ooh, I need to be a little bit quirky, a little bit unique. But also, you know, I get down with a cat, you know. Or maybe I should get like a black cat, you know. Be full witch. In fact, I don't really have much of a witchy aesthetic, I'm not gonna lie. Or witchy brand, but yeah, isn't it a thing like people like black cats tend to be quite unpopular because of like superstition and that sort of thing? That makes me kind of sad. I'll get a black cat. I'll get 2 black cats. I'll become a crazy cat lady. She's gonna become a crazy cat lady. She only has 1 cat. Give her time. Another My Little Pony reference there for you. I'm full of them apparently. Would I get a dog? Okay, yeah. As I say before, I would not get a highly. Well, it's a thing because I would like an intelligent dog, you know. But I also don't know if I'm the right person to have a highly energetic dog. Or maybe I am. Maybe it would be the sort of thing where I'm like, it would allow me, not allow me, but it would encourage me to go out and exercise more, which, you know, heavens no, I should certainly do. I'm not an expert in dog breeds, but there are some like running dogs, like you have boundless energy, which you have to make sure they exercise that energy, otherwise, you know, they like, it starts having detrimental health effects to them somehow. I'm not sure on the details of that. Like, I don't know, like whippets, is that one of them? I'm not really sure. I assume sheepdogs are probably like that as well, but I'm not really sure. I don't know. Which is a bit of a shame because my favourite dog species definitely is a Shetland sheepdog. But like, if I wanted a low maintenance pet, that's definitely not the pet to get right, because I assume sheepdogs are quite high energy and need a lot of exercising. And Shetland sheepdogs have so much fur, which I assume needs a lot of grooming and a lot of cleaning up after it to make sure that like its fur doesn't get everywhere. I don't know. Again, not an expert. This is probably a conversation I should be having. Okay, no, well, I mean, this is like a theoretical thing. It's not going to happen, I don't think, anytime soon. But yeah, I can get down with a dog. You know, I would have to certainly do some research cats. Well, I don't know, man. Now I think about it, I probably had to do research into cats as well, you know. I can't imagine all the cats the same, you know. I'd imagine different species probably have different requirements and needs as well. Different care as well. At the very least, like, grooming care, right? You know, I can't imagine a ragdoll cat, you know, needs the same grooming specifications as a Sphinx cat would. What about, you know, a snake? I can get down with a snake. You know, my friend was like, I get a snake, but I want a bigger one. I want one which I can feel like it constricting me. And I was like, okay, sure, I guess. I'm not sure if I want that big a snake. Or maybe I would, you know. I don't know. Certainly I would not want a dangerous snake. You know, I'm definitely not, you know, experienced enough to, like, keep an anaconda or, like, a boa or, like, a viper or, I don't know, an asp or a cobra. Man, there's a lot of dangerous snakes out there. Well, I mean, they're only dangerous, I suppose, if you get in the way of them, so, you know. But, like, I don't know, would I get down with a hognose snake? Yeah, probably. I think they're pretty cool. Would I get, like, mice or rats? Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, the only reason I wouldn't is because I've had a hamster before, you know. If anything, I'd quite like something different, you know. I like to try, you know, variety is the spice of life. Look after different animals. Tarantula I mentioned before. Seems kind of cool. I don't know. Tarantulas are very much like, from what I remember in that video, they're sort of like trophy pets, where you sort of just like watch them. You know, they're not something which you should like excessively exercise or like activate. It's not really the right word. Agitate, right? Something like that. What other like common pets? A bird? That's an interesting one. I hadn't never considered a bird before. Actually, when I was way younger, I actually really wanted a bird. I don't really know why. Like, if I got a bird, I would want a clever bird, certainly, you know. People will be like, oh, you know, my clever pets are annoying. They start like repeating after me and that sort of thing. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. I'd get like a raven or something. I don't know if are ravens even pets. I suppose it probably makes more sense to get like a parrot or like a cockatiel, right? I don't know how clever they are necessarily, but if they can repeat what you're saying, they've got to be kind of clever. Anyway, pet snakes. Pet snakes. It's not even about pet snakes anymore. It's about pets in general. But pet snakes, pretty cool. Yeah. That's it. They're pretty cool. they're pretty cool snakes. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of my friends get snake pets in the future. But anyway, I'm going to round up this episode here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me Dear Darling Discord. Follow me on Twitter down below. Hope to see each other again. But for now, it's farewell. So until next time. Bye-bye for now.